New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
The ASAP Rocky stories continues to get weird, guys. He's still in jail. It's 3 weeks now. But according to TMZ, they're saying that ASAP Rocky says race is not an issue in his arrest or detention. But the reality is he has to say that. Now, this is coming because G Eazy recently put a post up. And he said, look, facts, this is the sad truth. The difference between me and Rocky's treatment in the process in Sweden brings me to two concepts. It's disgusting, and they go hand in hand. It's white privilege and systematic racism. Let's call it what it is. He should not be behind bars right now, and my heart goes out to my brother ASAP Rocky and his whole team. We're riding for you. See, G Eazy was arrested in Sweden for assault and cocaine possession, and he only spent a day and a half in jail. Coughed up $9,000 and he was on his way.
So, but how could Rocky say anything right now? Why would he be sitting there saying this is racist when he's stuck in jail?
Right.
You don't want to make it worse.
Right.
So that makes sense to me. Well, I think people are right away going to connect it to Trump because Trump tried to help. And I understand everyone being sensitive about that. But if you're Rocky, you don't want to say anything critical about this until you get home. You don't want your team saying anything critical of Sweden until you get home.
And it seems like the whole Trump trying to take credit for it and saying that he's the one that's helping and he's made a call. Like he tweeted.
Has he really helped?
Well, while I'm reading this, it says one thing is clear by now, that all the work that the State Department and Trump have done trying to lobby Swedish officials has not worked. In fact, it may be counterproductive because prosecutors may not like what they consider meddling.
I know Trump's all like, I'm talking to people. It's going to be great. And we'll know something in 48 hours. They've assured me he's being treated fairly. Yo, I thought you were a boss, son. Can't you just get him to come home? I thought you were supposed to be big bad Trump. I thought you make the phone call.
Apparently.
Oh, look at my African American over here.
They don't want any meddling. They're like, look, we're dealing with this. This happened in our country. We got this. We're dealing with this the way we want to deal with it.
The worst case scenario that could happen
Sad.
here.
Sucks for Rocky, man.
The worst case scenario for Rocky is that Trump intervenes, makes people associate Rocky with Trump, and it doesn't speed up your process. So then you get out and everyone's like, oh, you're Trump's bestie, huh? And he's like, bro, I didn't even get out any faster.
Or just Trump meddling, and then people are like...
Or making it worse.
Yeah, like, you know what? This is, stop meddling, and this is our business now. This is our country. We're going to deal with it the way we want to deal with it. And matter of fact, we need 2 more weeks.
Well, Trump has...
Because that's what they've been doing.
Extending the time.
It's crazy what they're doing to him.
How much is he facing?
6 years.
Up to 6 years. When clearly in the video, those guys were the ones that were, harassing him and eventually, cracked the headphones on his bodyguard.
Well, this whole story has started out insane, has gotten more insane. You now have Donald Trump tweeting about ASAP Rocky and spelling ASAP with the money sign.
Bonkers.
I am so confused. And then at the same time, you have Donald Trump really upping the racist rhetoric to a level it's never been at before.
True.
So, to the point that, guys, we are at a point now where people on Fox News are being like, this is divisive and racist. The people who are divisive and racist are being like, this has gone too far. That's how bad it is, bro. This is Stephan Miller, Donald Trump's little Jewish man friend who gets to use his I'm Jewish card to try to protect Trump from anti-Semitism and racism. Here's Stephan Miller on Fox News yesterday defending Trump's attacks of AOC and pulling his Jew card to try to make it okay.
Were the comments made by Representative Ocasio-Cortez saying that our border agents are running concentration camps, and therefore they are Nazis, and therefore everyone in that audience, and you and me and everyone who supports our Border Patrol are, by extension, Nazi sympathizers.
That's what she said?
We support Nazis if we support border agents. And I have one more point on that I have to say.
Okay, go
which
ahead.
is that I'm a Jew, as an American Jew. I am profoundly outraged by the comments from Ocasio-Cortez. It is a historical smear. It is a sinful comment. It minimizes the death of 6 million of my Jewish brothers and sisters. It minimizes their suffering. And it paints every patriotic law enforcement officer as a war criminal. And those are the comments, Chris, that we need to be focusing on.
Those people were not your Jewish brothers and sisters. Nobody claims you. You would have been the person telling the Nazis where the Jews were hiding. Your own family doesn't claim you. Your uncle says you're a disgrace. That whole part where he's like, I'm a Jew, I'm an American Jew. That you don't understand how that makes my blood boil. AOC never said anything about everyone else being Nazis. All she said was that the detention centers are like concentration camps. Anyone who knows anything about the Holocaust knows concentration camps and death camps aren't the same thing.
Right.
Concentration camps were work camps. That's what the detention centers are. I'm Jewish. My mom's family died in the Holocaust. I am saying those are concentration camps. AOC knew exactly what she was saying. There was nothing anti-Semitic about it. She's never said anything anti-Semitic. And you have this fake Jew up on TV trying to act like he represents everyone else. My brothers and sisters. Yo, bro.
Breathe, my brother, breathe.
I turned 40 tomorrow. I need to relax. I'm trying to live. You know, I want to be around. Woo.
But I understand your passion.
It's
I get it.
It's just very upsetting,
sick.
man, to see, because when I hear people say the words, I'm an American Jew, you're now making people think that we're like that.
Right.
When for the most part, as Jews hate Trump and voted against Trump in crazy numbers. So you just have scumbags like that. Went to Duke, by the way. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Wow. Now, let's talk about something good. Someone who should be commended, Laura. Did you see the Dan Le Batard story?
No.
So Dan Le Batard, this is a really big story over the weekend, went off on his ESPN radio show the other day. Here's Dan Le Batard from the Le Batard show on ESPN radio.
If you're not calling it abhorrent, obviously racist, dangerous rhetoric, you're complicit. This is deeply offensive to me as somebody whose parents made all the sacrifices to get to this country. Send her back. How are you any more American than her? You're more privileged. You're whiter. We here at ESPN haven't had the stomach for that fight because Jamel did some things on Twitter and you saw what happened after that. And then here, all of a sudden, nobody talks politics on anything unless we can use one of these sports figures as a meat shield in the most cowardly possible way to discuss these subjects.
So basically, he went off on ESPN for having an approach to these issues that are like, we don't get involved with politics. We keep it strictly about sports. And Dan Le Batard is hugely popular. It would be very hard to make a move on Dan Le Batard. Remember, when Jamel had her situation, there's two important things to remember. Number one, the 6 o'clock Sports Center was not doing well. Number two, Jamel did not get fired. That's very important to remember. Everyone thought Jamel got fired. She didn't. The show lasted well beyond that. She wasn't happy and things got weird, but they did not cancel the show or fire her. So it was a very brave thing, I think, for Dan to do. And he's been outspoken on this before. I understand why ESPN doesn't want to alienate half their audience, but I certainly understand where Dan comes from, which is like, I have a second radio show, this one, where I can talk about these things. That's his only outlet. How could he, as a Cuban American, his parents were Cuban immigrants to this country, how could he sit there and let these stories go on about send her back and not say anything when he has such a big voice? So props to Dan for being willing to take that stand.